Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Day's Podcast along with a new video. I missed you guys. I know it's been a while. I have been just maintaining, doing what needs to be done in the world and maintaining and positively making sure things are maintained, okay? But I am here. We are going to continue talking about content. I have been just brainstorming and jotting down different Patreons, well, exclusively with Spotify episodes as well. So I will be back doing that very soon. Um, but as far as free content, we are going to continue like we never left. So we are going to talk about Ciara's third album, Fantasy Ride. So let's get into it. So, Fantasy Ride is the third studio album by Ciara, first released on May 3rd, 2009 by Jive Records, LaFace Records, and Sony Music Entertainment. The album was recorded between 2007 and 2009. Ciara was executive producer on the album along with co-executive Mark Pitts, and Ciara worked with several record producers including Black Elvis, Benny Blanco, Blade, Jasper Cameron, The Clutch, Darkchild, Danja, Dr. Luke, Jason Nevins, Jim Beans. Oh, I know who Jim Beans is. Las de Maestro, Neo, Os Sinachi, Niwaneri, I think, Polo the Don, The Dream, Tricky Stewart, Justin Timberlake, T-Pain. The album featured several guest vocalists, including Justin Timberlake, Ludacris, Chris Brown, Young Jeezy, The Dream, and Missy Elliott. The album combines R&B and hip-hop sounds from her previous albums, along with a new pop and dance direction. Fantasy Ride received Fantasy Ride received generally mixed reviews from music critics who complimented its slow jams and the club tracks, and Ciara's vocal performances, with some critics calling it a consistently sexy listen, with other critics calling it Ciara's smoothest ride ever. However, some critics found the album to be a dud, and others saying Ciara seems to go almost unnoticed. The album debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard 200. Fantasy Ride became Ciara's third consecutive album to debut within the top 3 on that chart, making her only the 4th female artist to do so during that decade. So, this, from what it's telling me, album was recorded between 2007 and 2009. So, throughout 2008, she's recording too, and there's all these different people coming out. Lady Gaga, you got Katy Perry, you have Taylor Swift, who really has emerged by now, and there's all these different artists that I'm saying pop for a reason, that was peaking with fandoms that were starting to favor them a lot more. And that has now become even more of a thing with streaming rather than sales. I've noticed, when it comes to sales, there's millions of us out there. Y'all can really buy the album as much as people bought the album back in the day. There's no reason that people are seeing 63,000. That's like a college or something. I don't know. There's so many people that listen to things, but they listen to them in different ways now. They don't always go on to the streaming app if they don't have a subscription, or whether they want to go onto the streaming app, they may go onto YouTube, and YouTube counts differently when it comes to the streaming, as opposed to saying, hey, hey iTunes, or hey Amazon Music, or an actual store. But then nowadays, artists don't always release it into the stores because of the way that the units be pushed, as opposed to how they were back in the day. And of course, with sales back in the day, when people were getting units out there, people were still downloading. Yeah, but by all means, still, y'all can go and listen to the music and buy it, and I will go by my words as well, because I want to get more vinyls. I don't really have vinyls like that, so I would like to collect them. I see a lot of people that do, so why not? And I actually like vinyls. I think they're cool. The album was supported by 3 singles: the U.S. R&B Top 10 Never Ever with Young Jeezy, worldwide hit Love Sex Magic with Justin Timberlake, and Work with Missy Elliott, which reached the top 60 on international charts. A compilation EP titled Fantasy Ride, the mini collection, was also released internationally in late July. The album also garnered numerous accolades, including the 1 nomination at the 2009 MTV VMAs, and 1 nomination at the 52nd Grammy Awards. So it was nominated for a Grammy and for a VMA. But of course, the favoritism with artists was really emerging by the late 2000s. And I said this in a previous video where it's like, it's not a bad thing. It just was like a real thing. Like, you would think, we're fans of this and this and this and this. Like, by the 2010s, everyone's like, I love this person. I'm going to see this person. I have their merchandise. I have them on my wall. I have whatever deluxe edition that they came out with to see. It was just real. But she just started to really work with different artists and record producers that she previously worked with. And as far as for the promotion of the album, Ciara promoted the forthcoming release of the album, going to different places, and only 2 tracks were made available when it came to a Ciara mixtape, which only 2 songs were available, which were Slow Down, featuring 50 Cent, and a cover of Diva by Beyonce. So, there was different things that she was doing, and, she made TV appearances as well. But as far as with, touring, she was a support act for Britney Spears for the 8 London concerts of the Circus starring Britney Spears tour in support of Fantasy Ride. The show took place in June 2009 at the city's prestigious The O2, London. On August 14, 2009, Jive Records released a press release about the then upcoming second leg of the Circus tour, which revealed that fellow label mate Jordan Sparks was replacing Ciara as the opening act, along with newcomer Christina DeBarge. Just from what I'm seeing here, there were a lot of artists that were emerging even still, like I've said, as opposed to artists coming back. And for how they were received and who wants to book them, they were, hey, we're going to have this person do this because it's matching with what they're going to do and where they're going. And, maybe you can do this. And it became complicated for a lot of artists with that because they also wanted to do movies. So if they're saying to themselves, all right, well, if I take time out to do this movie, I'm needing to get back into the studio and still make sure my fans know, like, I'm still around. And I said this too, where it was like, not, and this is kind of a testament to me too, trying to do so much behind the scenes as opposed to doing so much publicly. There has to be a balance. And I think that when Ciara released this album, there was more of her that people were being able to see and be like, oh my God, like she's back and she's doing new music. And I think it was sadly overshadowed. It says here, she is an underrated balladeer, comes in the form of Keep Dancing on Me. Yes, like she literally just didn't have enough people, listening. And that happens. That really happens when there's other artists out there that are marketing themselves, in certain ways where you're just kind of like, well, I'm over here, and it makes sense. I remember Never Ever, okay? So yeah, let's see. On May 10th, 2009, the album made its first appearance at number 9 on the UK Albums Chart, becoming Ciara's first top 10 album there. So this was her first album to be in the top 10 in the UK. So this was still a big deal because with her first 2 albums, of course, you know, we're getting to know her here and, you know, other countries, like I may have said in those previous videos, we're just really getting to know Ciara. So this was a big deal for her where it's like, wait, overseas, you know? So the album also made it to number 2 on the UK R&B albums chart, see, like I said. So it really did something. Turntables featuring Chris Brown charted in the UK at number 80 on the UK singles chart for just 1 week. It then dropped out. The song has received much airplay on UK radio station BBC Radio 1 Extra. Okay, so on the issue date, May 23rd, 2009, Fantasy Ride debuted at number 3. So right before my birthday, right before I turned 15, yes. On the US Billboard 200 chart. This made it Ciara's 3rd consecutive album to debut within the top 3 on that chart, making her only the 4th female artist to do so during this decade. Although the song Go Girl was initially planned to be released as the first worldwide single, after a disappointing chart performance, it eventually received just a promotional release. The song charted in the US at number 78 on the US Billboard Hot 100, 26 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart, and 88 on the Billboard Pop 100. So the album had sold, as of June 2013, 206,000 copies in the US, failing to match the success of previous albums, Goodies, 2.7 million copies, and Ciara the Evolution, 1.3 million copies. So, as I told y'all, people were not really buying music by the 2010s, and they're kind of not still doing that now. They're being very selective, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that as far as for what it is, you know, if you support this artist, really buy their music, you know, and you'll see based on chart performance and how many things are sold that, you know, maybe some people felt like I don't need to buy it, but I want to listen. Or, you know, for those that may have bought it, they still want to listen. So it shows. Yeah, let's get into the track list. So track 1 is Ciara to the Stage. Track 2 is Love, Sex, Magic featuring Justin Timberlake. Track 3, High Price featuring Ludacris. Track 4, Turntables featuring Chris Brown. Track 5, Like a Surgeon. Track 6, Never Ever featuring Young Jeezy. Track 7, Lovers Thing featuring The Dream. Track 8, Work featuring Missy Elliott. Track 9, Pucker Up. Track 10, G is for Girl, A through Z. Track 11 is Keep Dancing on Me. Track 12, Tell Me What Your Name Is. Track 13, I Don't Remember. And then there were bonus tracks. So there's the bonus track When I, Echo, Never Ever remix, and of course the Go Girl featuring T-Pain, which I find crazy because so Go Girl is not on the actual release. It was a Japanese bonus track. And then I'm on his deluxe edition bonus track. Because I don't see, yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't see Go Girl. Go Girl is not on the final track list. It was a bonus track. Y'all ain't right for that. She had a whole video and everything. Y'all ain't right for that. But yes, it had mixed reviews, and I feel like because of promotion and because of maybe just like I said, getting into the peak of people having a favoring, you know, moment, or not even moment, but just starting to favor things more. You know, it was getting real. But it's still a good album, and I would love for y'all to listen and to buy as well and to enjoy it. And of course, when it came to Basic Instinct, that's when she had to let y'all know I am still Ciara. After, some time that I have had about 3 different albums, yeah, what do you mean? I'm still here. So we will talk about Basic Instinct, but I want to thank you guys so much for listening and watching, subscribing, viewing, and just being there. I truly appreciate it, and I will be back with more.